It's Ruth Backlund from Energy Works Myofascial Release. Wanted to talk to you a little bit today about some of my journey. Actually, I've had so many twists and turns in my life of where my life has gone from a physical perspective, emotional, fitness, nutrition, my professional growth, all that stuff. And you're going to probably be hearing more about those variety of things over time. I've been sharing a lot of information already, but today specifically I wanted to talk about one of my personal struggles in my chronic pain many years ago. And I used to be very fit and active. I used to be in college soccer, broke my leg in soccer, and so that kind of ended that journey for me. But had gone through several iterations of working out in gyms, being a coach in some fitness programs, and ultimately really getting to the point where my pain was getting so bad, and I was trying to push through the pain for so long that I could barely even lay in a massage table. I could barely walk my dogs. Actually, it stopped me from walking even just a few blocks. And that was really hard for me, coming from a person who was very active and fit for a long period of time to not be able to be comfortable in any kind of movement that I was doing. Simply walking my dogs a few blocks. And I used to be able to run miles, did a lot of fitness stuff. So that was really hard for me. And I tried a lot of physical therapy, tried a lot of massage, I tried chiropractic. And, some of them helped a little bit, but they really didn't get me down the path where I needed to go. I actually found that I was getting worse. Even at one point had a physical therapist give up on me and just give me a back brace and say, you know what, this is going to help your back. So then your back doesn't hurt so much. So a lot of issues with my back and hips and my feet and things like that. Shoulders and neck too over time, but initially I was going in for my back and my hips. And unfortunately what happened is I was given a back brace to support my back, but what it did was it actually weakened all my support muscles. So what happened was my body couldn't support itself as well, and it was actually collapsing into my own spine and causing worse issues. So clearly that was not the right path for me, and I'm always skeptical when I see somebody in a back brace because it just scares me, because people tend to want to use it as support, but if they're using it all the time, they're not actually using their own natural muscles to hold their body up, and that's what your body's for. It's to actually do its own thing. So sometimes things are necessary from a temporary perspective, but long term, not such a good idea. So anyway, so for me, it just got worse and worse and worse as I was continuing down the path of trying to fix my body with all these different modalities, and eventually what it ended up being is myofascial release was really the ticket for me. It took some time, but I knew within the first 3 visits I was onto something different as a patient. I wasn't a therapist then. I was onto something different as a patient because my patterns were changing. I was at a point where I hadn't been able to lay on my back for almost 9 months. It hurt so bad. I just could not get comfortable. I wasn't sleeping hardly at all. So after 3 visits of a myofascial release series with a therapist, I could start to sleep on my back again. And that was a huge deal for me. Now all my pain and symptoms were changing. They weren't gone, but they were changing. And that's a big sign for me. So that's eventually what me got back on track, was continuing on with my myofascial release journey as a patient. And then that's really part of what steered me in a direction for my own professional career. I have left the traditional medical field, traditional corporate world, and I do myofascial release exclusively at this point. So it helped me get my life back on track many years ago, and it's been a winding path as you go along, but I wanted to share that with you this morning, just something on my mind, and I hope it helps you. If you're struggling at where you're at, if you're on a winding journey of ups and downs, feel free to drop it in the chat line or give me a shout out. I'd love to hear from you and hear what's going on with you. But myofascial release definitely helped me, and I know it can help a lot of people.